Hello, glorious souls. Welcome to your Soul Service Astrology update for the 11th of July, 2022. Hi, I'm Kel. If we've never met, I'm a 13-sign sidereal astrologer. What does that mean? It means the astrology that I refer to is reference to what you can observe in the sky. So that means it's astrology matched with astronomy. And believe it or not, the majority of Western modern tropical astrology does not correlate with what you can see in the sky. I think that's really important for us to come back into a connection with our planet, to come back into a connection with our solar system and our cosmos, to come back into a connection with our mystical nature. Now, if you're a soul-led entrepreneur, this is really important for you to be able to expand beyond your limits. It's important for you to expand into new opportunities. This is a new opportunity for you to dive into archetypes, perhaps strengths or weaknesses that you've never encountered before. And as entrepreneurs, we like leaning into things that potentially make us feel uncomfortable, but that's where I come in and can support you. So if you would like to discover your 13-sign sidereal astrology through Soul Service Astrology, you're invited to book a one-on-one call with me, and you can find that link below in the comments. Let's check out what's going on in the skies this week as I share my screen. There we go. That's Monday. As I move my little things around. All right. So Monday, we have a gibbous Scorpio moon. The gibbous moon is sort of the storm rider moon. We're heading towards a full moon. So perhaps you're feeling some emotions. You're starting to feel into those things that might need to release. So pay attention to that. And in Scorpio, most certainly, they're very watery. So they might be linked more with your emotions, and they might be linked with things that are in your subconscious. So pay attention. I'm going to get to the full moon that we're going to have on the 14th of July. We also have Uranus over here in Aries. So this is the visionary warrior, ready to focus, sextile the sun. A sextile is a favorable aspect. Now, our sun is our creative energy, and our creative energy at the moment is in Gemini. So it's really a great opportunity to expand into things that you want to learn. Perhaps there's things you want to teach, and also how you want to communicate, or perhaps a message that you want to share. So the opportunity on Monday is for you to embrace your visionary warrior spirit and allow that to flow through your very creative message and share what you want to share about the changes that you want to see in this world. So that's Monday, and that's the opportunities they present. Tuesday, the 12th of July, the moon moves into Ophiuchus, and again, storm rider. I'm looking at my notes because there's lots of words. See, Gemini season, too many words. Storm rider moon. So again, we're examining our emotions, and in Ophiuchus, we might be examining our vulnerabilities. Where do we feel vulnerable? Can we get more conscious with that? And can our vulnerabilities and the spaces in which we are aware that we're healing in inform us to move forward and to have that as kind of like a superpower? And then also on the 12th of July, Tuesday, the 12th of July, we have the North Node in Aries sextile the sun in Gemini. This is our mission-led warrior. What's the difference between our vision and our mission? Our vision is an idea. It's the changes that we wish to be and see in the world. The mission is that bigger than us change, and how we are going to bring it into what mission are we leading. Like, my mission is to lead a change within astrology so that I start to fuse science and spirituality together. My vision is that the mainstream astrology is 13-sign sidereal astrology. And my vision also is that astrology is not perceived as a pseudoscience. So they're kind of big, lofty ideas and visions that you continually need to talk about. So you are fully resourced during Gemini season, your creation, your creativity, your expression, to share your story. Perhaps you're still learning information around that. That's fine too. Or perhaps you're teaching it. Now, remember, with Gemini season, we're looking at our polarity. So maybe you're teaching and sharing at the same time. Maybe you're learning and teaching at the same time. So that's how you can use Tuesday's energy. And then on the 13th of July, which is Wednesday, the gibbous moon moves into Sagittarius. So again, the storm rider is looking at emotions. And in relation to the storm rider moon, we're looking at our emotions that we need to liberate. And this is perfect because we're coming up to the Sagittarius full moon. So this is right before we're getting very close to the Sagittarius full moon. Now, these are emotions that you might need to liberate because they're holding you back. Okay, so feel into that. You want to feel into it. It might be events or feelings that are giving you those signs and those indicators. What else is happening on the 13th of July? We have Chiron in Pisces and it's square Mercury in Gemini. Chiron is our healer. It's our healing ability. We all have it within ourselves, capable of healing. Now, the healer in Pisces is compassionate and connected. There might be some fears or limits coming up around how you can be vulnerable, healing, yet still creating and sharing your message, still communicating what it is that you want to communicate. Perhaps you're sharing your story. Perhaps you're writing. How can I possibly be a teacher when I still have healing to do? So that could be an indicator of maybe where there's feelings and emotions that might need to release under the full moon that's coming up tomorrow on the 14th of July. And that's a nice segue into the 14th of July, which is for the southern hemisphere, it will be the 14th of July, the full moon. However, I suspect it might be the 13th of July for the northern hemisphere. So we have a full moon in Sagittarius. The full moon is our fully illuminated inner space by our fully illuminated outer personality. And with Sagittarius, we want to liberate ourselves of beliefs that are holding us back. We want to liberate ourselves of limits that are stopping us from fully immersing into fun and joy and deeper faith within ourselves. Now, what's interesting is the moon is very close to Pluto. So there's a destructive element associated with this moon. So I encourage you to embrace this destructive element of this full moon because it's still in Sagittarius. It's getting us closer to fuller authenticity and fuller understanding and connection with the fact that we are here on this beautiful planet and we get to soak in joy and fun. So what is holding you back in your inner realm from allowing you to do that? So that's what this full moon is about. Now, what else is also happening on the day that we have the full moon is Neptune, which is retrograde. Yes, not Jupiter, Neptune. Neptune, which is retrograde, is square Venus. So again, we have this inner tension coming up. The inner tension between our very mystical nature, our connected nature, our energetic nature, to our very human nature. Venus in Taurus is very much like us as dirt, like we are dirt, we are building from the ground up. We are currently in the season of regeneration or consolidation, depending on where you are on the planet. So it's very much, oh my God, if I liberate myself from these beliefs, will I completely lose myself and dissociate into energy, or will I completely lose myself and become fully mundane and physical and never be able to ascend beyond the physical pain? So these are some of the fears or limits that might come up. And my answer, my solution to you, dear entrepreneur, is that you get to be both. Listen to how I speak. I have decided I get to be both a scientist and an astrologer. right? I get to be both energy and matter. And you have no choice in the matter, that you get to be energy and matter together. You just need to embrace it and embody it. So Venus is really about embodying that, oh, I am energy and physical, and I can use both. So with Venus, look at the food that you're consuming, because that has energy. Also look at how you're treating your body. How are you worshipping this beautiful vessel that is carrying you around this lifetime? And there might be some hints there in the things that you might need to release to see yourself as a fully illuminated, mystical and physical being. That was channeled. That came out of nowhere. Thank you, full moon in Sagittarius. All right, Friday, the 15th of July. I'm still getting used to saying July, and we're halfway through the month. The full moon continues to move into Capricorn, but then we start to shift over here a little bit more into Aries. The North Node is sextile to Gemini. And I think it's an exact, it was sextile to the Sun at the beginning of the week, and now it's sextile to our Mercury. So our mission-led warrior has everything they need to communicate their message out into the world. I would encourage you to embrace that, because as we move closer and closer to Cancer season, we're also going to get a few more celestial bodies and some big energies in Aries. So there is this fire energy burning in the background that's asking you to liberate. So this fire element, something that has been settling into my understanding of soul service astrology, is the element of fire has the ability to burn away things that we no longer need, to get us closer and closer to our more authentic selves, closer and closer to our mystically aligned identity, where the ego is there, but it's not leading. It's there working with our mystical intelligence. And that fire energy is to burn away things that we no longer need. And so you can see that with the full moon. That's the energy that's there. And with these aspects this week, it's clearing out the things that are blocking us from speaking our truth, from blocking us from speaking about the changes that we wish to be and see. And it might feel really uncomfortable, because you might be saying things that the majority of the system don't like. Hello, trying to change astrology over here. Hang out with me. I know what it feels like to be a disruptor. All right, so that's Friday the 15th. And then we move on to Saturday and Sunday. So there's quite a bit going on Saturday and Sunday. First of all, we have the Sun and Mercury moving into Cancer. Now that happens on Sunday, but you'll feel this starting to happen on Saturday, because of course they're very close. So let's examine that. We're starting to now shift into Cancer season. Not fully yet, because we're waiting for the new moon in Cancer, which isn't for another week and a half. Our creative energy is now moving into the sign of the homemaker. Our mental energy, our communicative energy, is moving into the sign of the homemaker. So can we start to look and tend and feel into our home? Now, home doesn't necessarily just mean our physical place of residence. Our home means our safe space. So we've expanded into some air-like information. We've perhaps cleared our message. We've perhaps communicated more authentically. Perhaps we've created something wonderful with words. And now we're moving into a space that's like, okay, so where do I need some support? Am I nurtured, and do I have all my needs met? And that's what we get from home. And of course, to be creative and to teach or learn and to share a message, to be the scribe or the messenger, they need support and we need nurturing. So we're moving into this element of water, very physical. Where is the support? Where do you need to be cleansed and washed? Check in with your emotions. What needs to be supported there? So that's where we're moving into. There's been quite a pace of energy with the eclipse season, Aries, and then we've moved into Taurus. We've looked at our soil. We're moving into Gemini. There's this building of energy, and now we get a reprieve. We get to have a rest, look where we're supported and held, and maybe seek some of that as well. Now, on the weekend, this aspect forms a glorious trine with Neptune. So this is all water. Neptune is our mystical intelligence. So how can you connect in with your mystical intelligence to help your creator and your storyteller and your message and your communicator, your mind, feel supported and nurtured? So let's have a quick review. Mystical intelligence is your body. Review your beautiful vessel. What are you putting into it? What's coming out of it? How are you treating it? Then we want to look at our mind. Is our mind, particularly coming out of Gemini, is our mind overworking? Or do we need to have a gentle, restful place and space? Then we have our environment. Which environments are we in? Are we connecting with our environment or are we ignoring it? And then we have our intuition or consciousness. Have we decided that, yes, we are energy, and yes, I can connect to the entity that is all around me, consciousness, and feel my devotion for that interconnected state that I am with everything around me? So they're the 4 places that you really want to check in. Oh, and your emotions. Sorry, I forgot. I have said emotions a lot in this video. And checking in on your emotional intelligence as well. Where are you at? And this all leads back to, don't be afraid to ask for help. So in Cancer, don't be afraid to ask for support, to feel the support of really calm waters around you if you need support. And that wraps up this week's astrology. So if you would like to do an aligned session with me, my aligned sessions are a bit of a fusion. We look at your birth chart, and I also look at your current collective transits and how that together you can start to really expand into new opportunities. You can start to bring more fun and creativity into your business, your life, and your career, so that we start to lead these joy-filled lives and that we get to be happy doing the things that we love to do, because that's what it means to be human. So if you would like some support from me, you would like to be held, lean into those strengths and challenges, then that's what I'm here for. So please check out the link below, and I would be very, very honored to serve you. Have a glorious week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.